true world history, ancient history is one of your favorite topics, right? And diving into this, and probably one of the ends really for how you got into the deeper knowledge of consciousness and all that. So I want to just hand it over to you guys. Welcome, Omar. Welcome, Rob. Thank you for being here, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate your giving me the spotlight here and participating in this wonderful conference. So thank you. And you're so right. This ancient history subject has got to be the stepping stone, I would say,
Yeah.
into much wider or much narrower subjects to learn, because there's so many rabbit holes. It's like a rabbit warren, really, because there's just so many holes that you can go down, and each one that you go down, it just blows your mind because when
Seriously.
you begin to think after all this information that you gather, and then the idea hits the head, like, if the news has lied to us, then imagine, how history is filled with lies. And that's kind of what my presentation tomorrow is going to be, is about the victor's history
Ooh,
and
love that.
walk through that and kind of see as to how our current reality is, based on set of lies
Yeah.
from victors and colonialism and things like that. So it's going to be a very interesting talk that I'm going to give tomorrow. And then it's just going to be straight up, right? There's no holding back. You know me. I just give it how it is, and just blunt as it is. And if you like it, you like it, and if not, then apologies there, but we'll just move on because well,
Well,
maybe we'll agree to disagree. But and that's kind of what we have to do now.
right. Well, that's the thing, right? Like history is written by the victors. We've heard that for quite some time, and we're doing, true world history, and it goes back really far. Of course, we're going back hundreds of thousands of years. We're going back millions of years. We had a model today get provided that the universe is older than 13 billion years, and the Earth has stories of being trillions of years old, right? So we might think that that is distorted, but it's not stopped, right? For the last in the last decade, right? Let alone the last 100 years, even the wars and what occurred with the wars, World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Korean War, all of those things are riddled with lies of why we got into the wars, right? So what's happening now is us going through a process of learning and correcting it because we've been in this reality of delusion for quite some time. That was the Kali Yuga theme. And now it's the time to correct that and to go to the Satya ages, which means truth. And that's pretty much what this conference and what all of us are doing, right? So I love Omar. Before I would love for you to go on as well, Rob. But I'd love you to introduce yourself, Omar, and then Rob, introduce yourself. Maybe like a couple of minutes synopsis of like who you are and what you do.
Well, it's easy. I'm Omar, and I'm the host of Watchers Talk. Created it about I guess 10 years ago now. I'm in my 10th year, and done tons of interviews over the past 10 years. Interesting ones, really cool ones on many, many, many different subjects. Done tons of conferences with myself, with Rob, with Neil, participated in them, done tons of presentations, and yeah, so that's about it. I'm a full-time worker, and I'm in this reality of this false reality of 9 to 5 and 5 days, 6 days a week sometimes. So I'm trying to snap out of that reality and create something different, and that's pretty much it. I work hard, I come home and I research hard, and when I find some interesting tidbits, I share those on my channel, and then I talk about them. I have discussions. Got into it with ancient civilizations, and then got into UFOs because that kind of led me there, and then from UFOs kind of led me into consciousness, and from consciousness kind of leading me into the exopolitics. And the exopolitics is kind of interesting, but I find it really cutthroat and really savage. So it's not really my cup of tea. And I just rather go about different ways of researching that subject instead of filling myself with toxic material, because I'm already surrounded by toxicity of lies and illusions and delusions. And so hope is that I can somehow figure out this path that I'm on this journey with Watchers Talk, and enlighten as many people as I can along the way. and most importantly, enlighten myself, enlighten my wife, and enlighten my family and my friends, and come out the other side after swimming through a river of shit, nice and clean. And that's really, what the hope is. And that's really what we're all swimming through right now, is that it's exactly what it is.
It's going
And
through the tunnel, bro. It's going through the dark tunnel to come out into the light. You
that's
know.
right, man. And you come out the other side clean as a baby,
Great
That's
summary. Great summary.
and that's me. And that's it.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate you too, man. Thank
No
you.
problem.
What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Yox from Full Spectrum Universe. I am super elated to be here. The universe saw it fit to give me back power. I've been out of power all day long, so I was waiting to come on and help out, but here we are. So this is where we're meant to be in this moment. And I have a YouTube channel as well called Full Spectrum Universe, and we've excelled quite a bit over the last year, which has been absolutely phenomenal and humbling. I used to do a lot of interviews. A lot of what we've done lately is the expression of human potential and figuring out information together. Everybody knows that one of the best places to be is in the chat when we're in these events and conferences because of all the information that's essentially being given inside of that chat. So I've tried to run my YouTube channel in an expression of that as of late. We have a ton of people coming on and giving information as well, but what I've tried to do is I've tried to hone specific subjects. One of the things we were working on lately is the island of Mu and Atlantis and some of these ancient resets that have happened to erase these histories and see what we can bring to the forefront that creates human expression, which is humanity's potential. And by diving into this information, we have this overload of info that kind of dumps into our brain, and it works on a cellular level for us when we have these triggers that sort of pinpoint these places in history that have been covered or redacted or rewritten for, like Omar said, for the victors who have won. So we
Yeah.
try and find that forgotten history and bring it to the forefront because it's truly who and what we are,
Yeah.
from the beginning of the galaxy to the beginning of Earth to so on and so forth. And a lot of what we understand is people giving their information from perspective, right? People get channels, people research, people look at tablets, their scientific work, everything comes from a perspective. So we try and absorb all of those different avenues to get a more robust understanding of exactly who and what we are. And I think that that's truly what we focus on. And that's why something like this conference is so important, because so many different perspectives or fields of expertise coming together to essentially show you their roadmap, which in turn, we all have these dots that sometimes connect, sometimes don't. When our dots don't connect, it's when we come into the field of others where their dots help connect our dots. And we move into this new era of what Earth is supposed to be about and what humanity is supposed to be about, because we get better understandings of everything and everybody. And that's more my focus than not.
Beautifully said, brother. And that's partially the reason why I wanted you here is, obviously a lot of what you just shared, but we really vibe on this ancient history topic, and it really is the end for it, because when we look at ancient history, we're looking at the cycles of time. We're looking at the evolution, the devolution of consciousness, right? We're looking at were we visited before? Was there advanced technology? It's almost like when we look at our ancient past, every single topic within this realm that we explore is within that, right? And so it's just us piecing together pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, right? And this is just one part of it. I put in the slogan for this. This is a beginning of a rewriting of the history books, right? That really people need to check the egos to the side and their emotional attachments to the doctrine that we've been fed. And because we went to school, we studied for 10 years, and this is what we're told, we're not willing to let go of the reality that that could be wrong. Because we invested all this time and money, egos can get hurt from it. And if we can all decide to do it for the better good of humanity rather than our own egos, who knows what's possible, right?
It's limitless
Yeah, exactly.
potential.
That's
Seriously.
right. This is
All right.
but a footstep, all of this in the history of humanity, these last few thousand years. And through from my research, I've discovered that this whole shit show that we're involved in currently, started around 10,000, 12,000 years ago, when the younger dryas age, so to say,
Yeah.
when those comets or meteoroids hit Greenland. And I find it interesting, that all of it, most of everything that I've seen so far, a lot of it is connected to Saturn. And I believe that there is some sort of a vibrational frequency, sound wave, that is being harnessed and transmitted to the Earth for us
Yeah,
to be in this state of mind that we're in, to have this, this amnesia, because
right.
the sound vibration, the sound frequency is causing that. So if we can somehow snap out of that, maybe all of our memories will come back, maybe our thoughts will come back, maybe our DNA will align itself. This whole thing with ET, I'm coming to realize as well that, it's not a friendly thing, because when they're abducting you and changing your DNA, then that is an act of war, and that's a very aggressive act. And I think that's what's happened to us in antiquity coming up to today, because we weren't like this all the time, right? Remember, just a few thousand years ago, we were giants, right? And then all of a sudden we went from being giants to being, midgets. No offense against midgets, but I'm just saying, let's just imagine, we're a midget standing next to a giant, and just in a couple of thousand years, and this transition has happened, and one has to ask why and how. How did this happen, and why did we go from living, thousands of years, like is explained in the Bible, to just mere 80 years? Like, what's the process? There has to be some sort of a, you know, an innovation, literally, on humanity for us to become the way we are. So that's kind of, I find interesting that no one's actually, researching that and even discussing that.
Well, people are exploring different angles, I would say, and then
Hmm.
there's also the whole element of the cycles of time, the Yuga cycles, and that we fell from grace, and that we're
Hmm.
at this point. But the positive outlook in this whole thing is, if you look at the Yuga cycles and just any ancient calendar about us shifting in ages, we're on the upturn in consciousness. So it's really time for us to get back there. Every time we shift into a new Yuga cycle, our age doubles, right?
Hmm.
We and 110 is supposed to be the age limit of right now, but it's 80 because of pollution, chemicals, all this stuff, food. And now, but we've shifted into the next age already, which is 220 years, right? So it's like, it's on one level is, why did this happen to us? And then it's on another level, it's like we were also at the vibration frequency where we basically, it was inevitable to be like that, right?
Hmm.
So I resonate with you though. We need to get into our next presenter in a second, but I resonate with what you're saying about Saturn, because I also feel that there's a frequency emanating from it, and that the hexagon with the black hole in the center is some sort of like, Saturn is some sort of technology, some sort of like device that is creating a matrix field around our solar system.
Wow, that's wild. And right as we bring the speaker on, it seems like mankind goes through these Yuga cycles, and
Absolutely. I
halfway through
created
the Yuga
a,
cycles. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. I froze a little bit.
Yeah, Omar, you froze for a second. You there? Think we lost him. Go ahead. What were we saying,
So
Rob?
I feel like
I'm here.
these, there you are, Omar. I feel like these Yuga cycles, with every 12,000 years within this Yuga cycle, there seems to be some sort of like tribulation that, or like catastrophe that man goes through, that either knocks them back into a stone age, or they advance
Yeah,
beyond their years after that. And then it happens every half of every cycle. It's pretty wild too. And that's kind of where the resets come from. They've utilized that to their potential and their advantage, and use it to rewrite and wipe history, which is why a lot of our mainstream goes back that 12,500 years, because there's a controller in there that's kind of shifting the way that history is seen past those points.
right. We're seeing things only linearly rather than secularly, how they really are.